All right, let me see what the mic doing. It's kind of low. It's kind of low to me. Oh, but all right. Yo, yo. Okay, I guess we can. All right. Let me hurry up and keep this in. Got some higher engagements. Let's deal with this. Hold on. Just step it out real quick.
Show up here, but you know, we always feel like we keep it real, not scratch that. We always felt like we're being true to everything we always say represent. And our audience is worldwide. We're not ignoring them. You know,
we coming out here in the East Coast, West Coast. We got beef with the people we got beef with. And we could go anywhere in the country because
we are America's most wanted. That's right. You can't stop the flow. Can't stop what America wants.
On that note, I know that Biggie and Puffy are here.
I'm gonna tell you the weirdest thing about this situation to me out of all of it is Snoop Dogg's face. That's why I wanted to start out with this image first. His face on this interview.
Tonight, did you see them? Do you have anything to say to them at all?
But even if you saw them, we are businessmen. We are not animals. It's not like we're gonna see them and rush them and jump on them. If they see us and they want drama, we're gonna definitely bring it like only Death Row can bring it. But we here as businessmen to enjoy and support the video music awards for MTV
because they support us. So if they want to come and use this business
opportunity to get on some gangster, you know,
we do that better than anybody.
Can you envision a day when, you know, y'all, if not get together and make an album, just peacefully coexist?
There's no dream of making an album with Biggie and Puffy or none of them. We're not sweating it like that.
This is our
we
family.
We peacefully coexist right now because we all cool. Everybody's here. They sell records. We sell records. Well, I guess you could call that selling records. What they do. We sell large amounts of records, and they sell a few records. And really, there's no competition. People are really making too much out of it than it is. It's really just if you want to talk, we're gonna make it specific as to what you can talk about and what you can't talk about. And the East Coast West Coast thing is something that the journalists and people are making up just to get paid off it so it can drag out. So they're perpetuating it so it can be drama. Which I still love MTV, but when it all go down, don't look at me and Biggie and be like, why is there a big East Coast West Coast war when you're shooting this to 300 homes, 300 countries, telling them about an East Coast West Coast war that they would never know exists. So that's where information becomes a problem.
And if it did exist, Pac, we wouldn't be here. So
right, and if it exists, I wouldn't be sitting in New York talking about it. We'll try to be better role models, and y'all try to stop putting that drama out there. You got a lot of power, a lot of responsibility. We both do. We both need to exercise greater restraint. I saw Pac in Vegas, about to get to the car. He was coming out the hotel, and we walked off, and we got in the cab, and they got in the Bentleys and all that other stuff. And you know, we went on to another party, and 20 minutes later, we heard Pac
got shot.
I was at Warren G's house in the living room. I think we was playing a video game, and we kept getting a whole bunch of calls and pages. Somebody told us to turn on the news, and we turned the news on, and we seen the little shit.
I remember calling Fanny and saying, Faye, do I need to get on a plane right now? She said, Jada, he's gonna be okay. You get here when you can.
I drove down there to the hospital because I wanted to see my nigga, you know what I'm saying, make sure he was straight. I'm thinking that he was gonna make it.
Okay, here we go.
It's Pac.
This is the problem, right? We got mad audio coming out, and I'm about to play for y'all in a minute. That's saying that Snoop been study going around about going to the hospital to see Pac. Okay?
He's been shot before. Fine.
Our first reaction was, again? You know what I mean? And then he was like, oh, he gonna be all right, because, you know, this after he got shot 5 times.
He was like a cat with like 9 lives.
I had went to see him when he was still alive. And I said a little prayer to him in his head. And held his hand and whispered at him, you know. Said my piece with him. You know, he didn't have no consciousness, but I felt like my spirit and his spirit connected, and I felt like he got it. When I heard that Tupac died, I was cooking in a restaurant. It was a sports bar, so there was a big TV screen, and we all just kind of watched it, just like, you know, just dazed.
My mother knocks on the hotel door. Will opens the door. As soon as I see her face, I knew he was gone.
I cried like my mother cried when Marvin Gaye died. a lot of people that worked at the job that I worked at didn't understand Tupac, or didn't understand the music, so we're looking at us like, what's wrong? What's the big deal? Get over it. And it's like, nah, this is a really fucked up day. For the longest, I think anybody who had something to do with hip-hop and loved the music, there was a sense of mourning for a long time. I love it. What's up, it's your boy Puff. You know, if I'm not on that New York side representing the nation, y'all representing the Lakers. I'm sorry.
You gotta do it to Cloud, Kill Boston, take that. Hey,
Dogg, what about the Lakers?
We do agree on. Yeah. They don't like Boston, man. That's one thing about us, man. We don't like Boston, man. That's what, you know, we gonna go to the game and bring this thing on home. You know, we the good luck charm. Yes, sir. Connect the dots. That's right. We see y'all. Yeah, that's right. That. Game 7. That's what's up.
Getting a little interesting. Okay, let's go.
Music, I love his work. There's no beef, it's nothing personal. I don't hate him and I don't disrespect him, and I love what he do, you know what I'm saying? And it's just me, I'm just a smooth, peaceful individual. I don't have beef with nobody right now, baby.
After the interview, we go back to the hotel. So my Uncle Rio come back up to my room. He like, man, Tupac and them is on some bullshit, man. They down there talking shit, blah, 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 blah. So my phone rings to my room. It's Moo time. Pac said, give him an ounce of 15 minutes go by, he called back. Hey, I need an ounce of weed. Just hang up. So I send the weed. So now we flying back to LA. We get to the private plane. First of all, Pac ain't said to me though. From that moment on, I walked to the back of the plane. I grabbed me a knife and a fork, get my blanket, put my blanket over my eyes, 5.5 hours like this. As soon as we land, we step off the plane. I'm like, Pac, you going to Vegas to the fight? I said, that's the last time I seen my live.
Biggie Smalls, he's an artist that you know what I'm saying, I listen to his music, I love his work. There's no beef, it's nothing personal. I don't hate him and I don't disrespect him, and I love what he do, you know what I'm saying? And it's just me, I'm just a smooth, peaceful individual. I don't have beef with nobody right now, baby.
After the interview, we go back to the hotel. So my Uncle Rio come.
Shit, that's a real one right there, y'all. That's a real video right there, bro. Okay, that's him saying that here. Now this is the one we need to check out. Boom, 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 bam, bam, bam. Right here. All right.
If none of your friends have told you about the Skip Forever button, those aren't your friends. This is Pi, and if it sounds familiar to you, it's probably because you've seen their ads everywhere, especially this one.
All right, I haven't heard. I actually got a video. Hold on, let me see. I might pull that one up first. I actually got a video that I put in my Facebook group. All right.
Machiavelli is alive. Suge Knight exposes Snoop Dogg from capping. Listen to this, y'all. Machiavelli is definitely alive. After you hear this, you will definitely believe.
But to get straight to the point was this. I was at my house in Vegas, and I started calling Snoop, telling him, hey, what's up? You know, like it's something wrong with this situation. Pac in the hospital, come holler at him, come check on him. So he drove down, and I was at the house waiting on him. And Tupac's mother was at my house. So we back by the pool, and then the pool area is like 2 big guest houses. So as when Snoop come up, and there's other people out there, we walk in the back to talk. As we start talking, I said, you know, I'm on him, like, man, why you ain't here? You should have been at the hospital. And then Tupac's mother was there, the Fanny. She was like, yeah, I know you should want to see him. He told her, he was like, well, look, Tupac hates me right now. He mad at me. He hates me. So I feel bad, and that's why I didn't go up there. And Tupac's mother said, well, look, Pac was mad at me, too, for a few things I'd rather not swear than for some stealing shit, she said, right? But, you know, we all do that with our mothers. So she said, well, he was mad at me, too, but that's my son. I'm there. And if he hates you, you still supposed to go and do the right thing and go visit him, right? So as we start talking, Snoop just start crying and fell down and start throwing up, like literally throwing up, right? So we looking at him like, damn, what happened to this dude? So once he get up and explain to him, and you know, we didn't think nothing weird. We just thought he really emotional right now and he throwing up, you know? So when he got himself together, we were still talking to him. Pac's mother says, it's going to be all right. So I don't know where you get all the extras from, but they had a conversation at the hospital and all that. That's absolutely not true.
Whoa.
Say less, if you know what I mean.
Got tubes in him, and it's like, when I walked in, I could just feel like he wasn't even there. And I fainted.
After I heard Tupac got shot, I immediately flew to Vegas, and I walked in the room, and I seen him laid out on the bed with all kind of tubes and shit in him, and I was so weak, I damn near fell over. So I jumped right on the highway. And the Hummer. And go out there. Immediately flew to Vegas, and I
started calling Snoop, telling him, hey, what's up?
Made the phone call. I called Suge personally. That nigga answered the phone. Me and Warren G was, I think we was playing a video game at Warren G's house. And the pages was blowing up and the phones was blowing up. They was like, put it on the news.
I heard something over the Nextels that we all carry for security. And what I heard was, got him.
Back then, remember the motherfucker?
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of Nextel he had, but he had, the motherfucker could go, that whatever it was hitting him all the way from what was going on from Vegas. So they was like, we could hear the shit.
These radios that we keep talking about, the Nextel telephones, two-way radios, they had pretty much just come into play. Because originally, all we had were the, regular radios. Just the radio itself. And probably closer to around the time of us coming out to Las Vegas, around the time frame of Pac being killed, I would say that those Nextel phone radios had just come into play for right-way security. There was only, it's a guess, there was probably only 4 or 5 of them. Okay, but it was enough to go around to the people that mattered that should have had them.
The Voice was definitely one of our, not paid security, but one of security that works with directly for Mr. Knight came over the radio. I couldn't pinpoint exactly whose voice it was, but it was some voice that I had heard before. So I knew it was one of our, not one of our direct security that was hired with us, but one of the, what do we call them? One of the homeboy securities. You said got him right before me and Mr. Wright got in the vehicle to go get to the hospital.
Once again, it makes no sense for somebody to have a walkie-talkie, no Nextel. Listen to everything play by play. Where you hear the shots, you hear this. And who really called Snoop ASAP to let him know what happened? We know none of the homies had his number. So it couldn't have been none of the homies. Well, say less, you know. When the homies playing both sides. And we're quite sure that'll come out.
Michael Moore, the night that Tupac was shot, after being taken off of Tupac with me, went back over to Club 662.
Then someone else came on the radio and said, hey, don't say nothing over the radio.
So Michael was with Reggie, and they went to the hospital together. And Michael talks about hearing something over the radio. Well, he would have heard it over Reggie's radio because he wouldn't have had a radio that night.
Nextel sold a push-to-talk feature, which was essentially a walkie-talkie over a cell phone line. With it, conversations could be transmitted via speakerphone. This was how Moore heard the conversation on Wright's cell phone. But was this a random broadcast meant for a while?
Then he had this the Nextel back then. Remember the motherfucker? Yeah. I don't know what kind of Nextel he had, but he had the motherfucker could go that whatever it was hitting him all the way from what was going on from Vegas. So they was like, we could hear the shit, and then
Russell Paul in the 2002 documentary Biggie and Tupac claimed he had evidence which indicated how the cops had allegedly used radios and monitored police frequencies in order to pull off the Biggie Smalls murder. The 2016 TV series Case Closed by AJ Benzer looks into the coup d'etat overthrow theory of Death Row Records, which cited Tupac's bodyguard Michael Moore's claims of hearing the words Gotham allegedly coming over a radio used for security being during the time of the Tupac shooting, which Michael Douglas Carlin indicates in the series that radios and spotters may have been used in the Tupac murder also.
Michael Moore heard "Got 'em" come over the radio, so clearly there were spotters. There were people who were telling everybody that was in on it what was happening, kind of a play-by-play over the radio.
I don't know where you get all the extras from, but they had a conversation at the hospital and all that. That's absolutely not true. Say less, if you know what I mean. Now, if Snoop is telling these guys, don't go to the fight, don't go to Vegas,
Don't go to the fight.
basically, he's saying just don't go. For him to say, I can go to the fight, I can go to Vegas, I just don't have to be around him, basically, I don't got to be around Pac. Only reason why somebody would tell you that, if they knew, okay, it's something gonna happen at this person. Somebody gonna try to shoot this man. So I'm giving you a heads up. Don't be around them because you might get shot by accident.
Then maybe the question is that Pac really not dead. Pac somewhere else, and maybe they get over. Maybe it's like
You're gonna start a whole nother.
I mean, it's the truth if you really look at it.
Did you see Tupac dead?
Nobody's seen Tupac dead. The thing is this: the person who supposedly cremated Tupac, who his mother wanted done quickly, if he passed. So this guy got about $3 million personally for me, cash. And next thing I know, I never heard from the guy since again. He retired and left.
Somebody call Reggie lawyer.
All right.
Machiavelli is alive.
All right, let's get to it.
In Vegas, can you speak on that if you don't mind? Like, go more into detail.
I'm gonna typically like this. I'm never gonna say him, but the writing's on the wall. What I mean by that, I know they got into it in New York. I know Pac ain't turning nothing down. Pac go. When it's time to go, he gonna go. And I know that the three of us, was close. After I called my mother, I'm gonna hit Pac, I'm gonna hit Snoop, make sure they straight. So all three of us communicated with each other, always. He had a fight. He had a fight for he had a ticket for the fight, a Tyson fight, where we always go to, a ringside ticket. He also, they all knew that was an East Coast night, and everybody was excited about it. I had Run DMC performing that night. When you look at it, Dad said that, hey, we weren't going. Snoop was on, fuck Death Row, basically fuck Tupac and everything above.
Interesting.
And something gonna happen.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Warren G says that Snoop was at his house watching the fight, and he had the walkie-talkie, the radio. Now, these walkie-talkies, the radios I had, it's not a Nextel. This is before all that. I had these radios that work on the whole West Coast. San Diego, Vegas, Oregon, the West Coast, Denver, right? So, only time a person got one of those radios, it's like if they was going to a club or they was going to court or they was going to an event that they can communicate with their security. Whoever doing those security details, the security didn't keep them 24/7. So the radios were handed to, if two guys was going to be on Snoop, I would hand them 2 radios, and Snoop would have 1. After that's finished, they would turn them back in. So it wasn't no need for Snoop to have a radio. That was surprising. So when Warren says he heard the shots, he heard everything was going on, and when everybody said they heard him say they got him, that's not just a red flag. That's a fact that somebody involved with something they shouldn't have been in, and they had a radio they shouldn't have had. So that was the first thing. Then Corrupt, they interviewed Corrupt, and Corrupt says Snoop had the meeting and said, we're not going to Vegas. So they weren't going to Louisville, so that's basically saying like something's going to happen. And then Nate Dogg says, I'm going to Vegas. I don't got to be around those niggas. That's his exact words. I can be here, I can be there. Long as I don't be around them, basically saying if long as I'm not standing next to Tupac or me, he'll have to worry about a straight bullet getting him. No other way. And the fact that not only did he not come to the hospital, not one of those people, them people, whatever you want to call them, did not do a song with Tupac. We put out 2 albums after Tupac was gone. Snoop not on one. Snoop did his album. You probably guys don't remember. He did that album on his own. Where it was the Dog Father. It's not a Pac verse on that one.
That shit was trash.
And he had lots of them to pick from. Not a one.
That Dog Father album
when
was
Tupac
trash.
got a star on Hollywood Walk of Fame, not one of those individuals, them people, did not come.
Did not come.
So you can go up there and accept the award for Pac, act like y'all was close, but y'all was enemies at that time. And I do say this with all respect to the whole West Coast. I tried everything to keep the love for Snoop. If there's something personal, we'll deal with that on something personal. But when he went out his way and showed the facts, what he did, his involvement, that bothers me. And what's even worse than that, Ray J even said Snoop told him that.
Ooh.
So it's like bragging points. But you know, it is what it is, you know? Certain things that happen can't be changed. But shit, if you look, you're not going to smell the smoke. You're going to see that fire burning. That's that.
Unlock a new world of efficiency with Asana. Automate workflows so your team can have less follow-up and more.
And from what I get from it is you feel like Snoop knew what was going to happen to Tupac in Vegas. Can you speak on that if you don't mind? Like go more into detail?
I'm going to put it to you like this. I'm never going to say him. But the writing's on the wall. What I mean by that, I know they got into it in New York. I know Pac ain't turning nothing down. Pac go. When it's time to go, he gonna go. And I know that the three of us, was close. After I called my mother, I'm gonna hit Pac, I'm gonna hit Snoop, make sure they straight. So all three of us communicated with each other always. He had a fight. He had a ticket for the fight, a Tyson fight, where we always go to, a ringside ticket.
So Snoop had a ticket for the fight.
He also
didn't go.
They all knew that was an East Coast night, and everybody was excited about it. I had Run DMC performing that night. When you look at it, Dad said that, hey, we wasn't going. Snoop was on, fuck Death Row, basically fuck Tupac and everything above. And something gonna happen.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Warren G says that.
I've been saying it for a minute. Also, I got a video that I was kind of afraid to do, It really didn't, either I didn't care enough or I was afraid to do it. I got a video of Biggie. It's a weird video. I'm gonna pull it up and I'm just gonna show y'all, but I'm gonna say this. In this video, Diddy kind of told him himself. Diddy kind of told him on himself on this video I got, right? Right? But I want to say this, man. We didn't really know what was going on back in 96. You know what I mean? Like, we weren't really paying attention. It was a little bit of speculation on it, but nobody really, it was just more, we was more concentrated on people saying that Tupac was in Cuba, Tupac's alive, than to even think about it. If everybody running around thinking that Tupac's alive, then there was no reason to really, really, really deeply, sincerely care about who killed him if we believe that he's alive, right? But y'all notice that Snoop Dogg put out that trash ass Dogfather album. And then he went over to No Limit. Right? You think about what he said on the airplane. He was standing there, he's back there with a knife. Because he basically working with the ops. This is why Pac was mad. Because this nigga got on TV and said, hey, I ain't got no motherfucking problem with Biggie. There's no beef with Biggie. And motherfucking Pac feel like these niggas tried to kill me. What the fuck you mean ain't no beef with Biggie? So you heard Snoop say. Pac had his homeboy call him, say he need an ounce of weed. 15 minutes later, Pac called him back. Man, I need an ounce of weed. You seen him on the plane and say a word to him for 5.5 hours. Then when he get off the plane, don't want to talk to him. That was a real beef. Snoop know exactly what the fuck happened. If you think about the video I played in the beginning, Tupac mama and Suge Knight was talking to Snoop like, why the fuck you ain't go to the hospital? But then you heard the video of Snoop claiming that he went to the hospital. That's a lie. What is he lying for? Now, Snoop Dogg hanging out with Diddy. Snoop Dogg didn't go to none of the functions that was for Tupac. He didn't do any songs with Tupac after Tupac passed away. You know that Suge had all of the Tupac shit, and everybody's putting out their little albums with Tupac or whatever. They want to contribute in that, but he was enemies with the nigga. So yeah, this nigga was working with the ops. This nigga, I believe that he more than likely backdoored Tupac. And I also think that he was jealous of him. Was somebody hearing Tupac sound like he was jealous? Right now, think about it. He just bought Death Row. Snoop Dogg has always been wanting. I heard a motherfucker talking the other day. Some people, they've been hyping up this shit, trying to hype up this Snoop is the most famous mother. I think it was it Vlad or I think it was Vlad. It was either Vlad or Joe Rogan, one of them two. But they was trying to talk like Snoop is the most famous rapper in the world, worldwide, and all this and that. And Snoop has always been reaching for that. But to me, Snoop didn't do anything. I was a real Snoop fan in the beginning. Snoop, on his first album, The Chronic, and that 187 soundtrack, he went hard body. He was hungry. And I seen most rappers do this. Man, Snoop became trash after The Chronic, bro. He never put out, to me, Snoop ain't never put out nothing worth nothing since The Chronic. Dogfather was trash. He had maybe 1 or 2 songs on that No Limit album that was okay. That nigga ain't never took time to really do anything with his craft. I believe he's one of the most talented artists ever, but I don't believe he ever did anything. It's like how Kobe talked about Shaq. That's how I feel about Snoop. Snoop one of the coldest in the game. He just been freestyling for the last 20 years. I don't care what, he ain't wrote none of that bullshit. He ain't wrote none of that bullshit. Snoop Dogg ain't wrote none of that bullshit. So now he done bought Death Row. Snoop has always wanted to be on a iconic level. You know what I mean? To me, he's just an OG. A nigga that wasted a lot of, I ain't gonna say he wasted it because he's a successful businessman. He been in a lot of movies, got kind of sneaker deals and all that kind of, he's a great businessman and a great fluffer. But when it comes to music, nah, bro. And when it comes to being real, nah, because I believe when all this shit come out, even if Snoop didn't have a hand in it, I believe he knew what the fuck was going on.